everyone, and welcome back to another session. If you're joining for the very first time, my name is Hannah Grace, and this is the book club. Today we will be continuing our series, and for those of you who are new here, we started a series where we talk about popular genres in young adult literature. The first video we talked about fantasy, and the last video we talked about dystopic. And if you're interested in viewing those videos, then you can click on my channel and they will be there. Now let's get into today's discussion where we are talking about science fiction. Now, as long as I could remember, science fiction has always been a very tricky genre to tackle, not just in young adult literature. Science fiction has always gone two ways, either hit or miss. So what is science fiction exactly? The simplest definition that I could find defines science fiction as fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances, often portraying space and time travel with major social or environmental changes, and often portraying life on different planets. We're going to break down the definition by using popular young adult novels. The first chunk that we're going to take a look at is the imagined future scientific and technological advances. The first book that we're going to take a look at is Under the Never Sky, written by Veronica Rossi. The story follows a 17-year-old girl named Aria who lives in the safety of her pod with the help of advanced technology. She is safe from the outside world. Advanced medicine and technology has also made it possible so that everyone that she lives with is healthy and no one dies from any illnesses or diseases. What I also noticed with a lot of these science fiction novels is that there's sometimes also elements of dystopia in them as well. After a horrible accident, Aria is banished from her pod from those who rule her society, and she is thrust into the dangerous outside world where she has no way of surviving. And in this case, technology does not save her and in fact makes her stronger, and she realizes that she can survive without it. The next book series I want to talk about is the Maximum Ride series, written by James Patterson. Now, when I was in middle school, I was absolutely obsessed with this book series, and then I read it one more time in high school. So the story follows a young teenage girl named Max, and she is the alpha of her group, whom she also considers her family. Max and her family have been touched by science in a very interesting way, meaning that they can fly. So as we see here in this example, science has advanced humans by merging their human DNA with bird DNA, which then gives them the ability of flight, and also they have other supernatural abilities as well. They can see better, they can hear better, and physically they can train a lot harder. Now we're going to take a look at the last chunk that talks about portraying space and time travel. One of the first book series that came to mind was Cinder, written by Marissa Meyer. Now, I haven't read the book series yet, but I do know the story follows a teenage girl named Cinder, and she lives in a world where humans, cyborgs, and androids all live together, and there is a colony of humans living on the moon. Cinder is a cyborg, which means technology has made it possible for her to be a human with robotic qualities. Also, the advancement of technology has made it possible for space travel, which explains the colony of humans on the moon. Another book that does a great job with space travel is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. In the book, there are numerous different planets, and there are humans on those planets who have learned to adapt themselves for the characteristics of the planets that they live on in order for them to survive. So because there are so many different kinds of planets in the novel, of course the spaceships are going to be very sophisticated. Spaceships are designed so that they can withstand the harshness of space. Spaceships are designed to go very far and to withstand any of the harsh environments of any of these planets. There are also escape pods, and there are also spaceships that are specifically used for warfare. I've always found science fiction so interesting, and when it is done well, it really can truly pull you in, and it really does open up your imagination. So for today's discussion, questions down in the comments below. What are some of your favorite book or science fiction films, and what do you always feel like books or films get wrong with science fiction? Talk about that down in the comments below. So that is it for today's discussion. Join us next week when we are talking about contemporary young adult novels, and we should have plenty to talk about. So that is it for today's video, and I will see all of you next week.